What is up, ladies and gents? Nate here bringing you my review for The Flash, episode 18, known as All-Star Team-Up, because, Ray Palmer from Arrow and Felicity come over to, have some fun at Central City, but Central City isn't that fun nowadays, because, we found out a few things. More or less not we, but, Team Flash minus Harrison Wells did. And this episode, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of disappointing. Anyway, spoilers from the episode within this review, so check it out on iTunes, the CW website, Amazon, the whole streaming stuff and things. And what I mean by disappointing in this episode is that I felt like they could have used Emily Kinney's character, and if you guys don't know, Emily Kinney is from The Walking Dead. She played Beth in that, and in this episode she played the Bug-Eyed Bandit. Like she was just there to be there. She was just like another throwaway villain. I was like, oh, come on, you could have. She was supposed to be Felicity's nemesis. You could have done so much more. And her background, her motive was the most cliche thing that the Flash is. Well, this whole episode was kind of cliche because the whole Ray Palmer thing. Is that a bird? No, I'm pretty sure it's a plane. That's my boyfriend. Whoopsh. Hi, I'm Ray. I'm like, oh, come on, you just had to throw it. I mean, I don't mind Easter eggs, and that was pretty funny, but the whole Emily Kinney's the Bug-Eyed Bandit thing, it was oh, you fired me just because I was making mechanical bees and weaponizing them. Yeah, that was the point. And then it was what? Like I said, it's the most cliche thing. Friggin' bad guy gets fired from their company by doing something that they weren't supposed to do, and then they come back for revenge. They're they could have made it more interesting. And the whole being Felicity's nemesis thing was so lackluster at too, because we just saw things from Felicity's side. Felicity was the only one making comments, comments that actually mattered, where Emily Kinney's character, the Bug-Eyed Bandit, was oh, here, let me oh, I'm not gonna let you get away with this. Now, come on. And Barry, he was just when he was cornered by the bees, I was can't you just vibrate through something and just go away from the bees, so if just in case the Bug-Eyed Bandit does regain control of the bees, you don't get stung. But with all that aside, it wasn't a bad episode. It was just I wanted more. I was expecting more, but it just didn't deliver. The whole Cisco and Ray bromance that they had going on this episode was great. I liked it. It was very funny. And Felicity's comments, when Felicity isn't whining, she's such a fun character, but whenever she's on Arrow and she's whining 90% of the time, it's why you gotta be so annoying? You know who else was annoying this episode? Frickin' Iris. Jesus. It's the writers are trying to make her look annoying. I don't want another Laurel situation where you don't Laurel from season 1 and then you grow to like her from eventually when she goes through all this character development. When they were at dinner, when Iris is oh, so it's my fault that you're not having a great time. I'm yes, it is, Iris, because you're being a hoe. To be fair, when I say hoe, I don't mean hoe as in a real whore, but hoe I use the term hoe is just as an equivalent to bitch in my words. I just try not to swear as much, so I switch out words. And then with the whole Barry talking to Iris thing, I was great, now finally she understands. She goes up to Eddie, God damn it, you don't understand, Iris, just ah. And if this little incident with Iris causes a rift between Barry and Eddie, and I don't want that to happen. And if it does happen, I'm just gonna be so mad at the writers, because they could have it could have drove Eddie to be more of a hero than anything, because it looks it's setting up for Eddie to be the bad guy and to not like Barry. I'm no, I don't want that to happen. Don't do that to me, writers. And the other thing was they kept on hinting at Ray shrinking or using smaller parts and all of this. I'm if you're gonna make him shrink, just let him shrink already. Stop hinting at it and just do it, because no one likes Iron Adam. That's if you guys don't know, Ted Kord, the first Blue Beetle, was supposed to be Ray Palmer's character, but DC didn't want them to use Blue Beetle, so instead, or Ted Kord rather, and so they just switched him out with the Atom to do that. And thing is, give me just shrinking powers already. I don't just do it. But on the plus side, it looks like the Atom special effects are better on The Flash than they are on Arrow. And then the whole telling Cisco and Caitlin about Harrison Wells being the Reverse Flash, and not only that, but Tina telling Barry that after Tessa's accident, Harrison became a totally different man. That was probably the plot pushing point, because everything else was kind of irrelevant. And what I find really interesting is that Cisco is getting like memories from the alternate timeline, like from the first timeline when Harrison kills Cisco. And what I found weird was like this might be just editing, but shouldn't like all the perspectives that like Cisco has, shouldn't it be from his point of view and not like the camera's point of view? Like just imagine Cisco's first person view of just seeing like Tom Cavanaugh's character, who is slightly taller than Cisco, I believe, just like stabbing you through the heart with his fapping hand, and you're like, oh no. But yeah, it looks like the timelines are merging, because that's the only reasonable explanation of like Cisco being able to retain those memories. And the other cool thing was probably Barry using his hand as defibrillators, which I thought was cool, using the lightning, so it's just not special effects and all of that. But the way like shouldn't his hands vibrate through Cisco if he's like using it? I don't know. I mean, Speed Force, that's your answer. So am I great for that? So I'm gonna give it a good B. Like I said, it was like I just expected a lot more from the episode, and I guess that's what I get. But looks like the last 5 episodes are gonna be a lot better. So the pros of the episode being like the Cisco and Ray bromance that they had going on, Felicity, the whole Harrison Wells and the Reverse Flash thing. I especially like that moment where that bee was coming and like Harrison Wells was like about to step out of his chair, and like wouldn't that just be hilarious of like just if Harrison Wells had to reveal who he was just because of a stupid like tiny bee? Just like imagine like the Reverse Flash locked up like with like Captain Cold and Heatwave, like, so how'd you get caught? From a stupid freaking bee. But the cons of the episode would have to probably be like they didn't fully utilize Emily Kinney's character, the Bug-Eyed Bandit, and they gave the Bug-Eyed Bandit such a cliche freaking backstory. And not only that, the whole Iris situation is I don't like it. Like that's like every time I see Iris on screen, I'm like, how is she gonna mess up this time? But my question to you guys is, do you think Ray Palmer, the Atom himself, is going to shrink by the end of the season, whether it'll be the end of the season of The Flash or Arrow? But do you think he's going to shrink just in general? Because I really want him to, and if he doesn't do it by the end of the season, I'm going to be kind of mad. But anyway, let me know down in the comments below. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and thanks for watching. But don't forget to leave a like if you think the video deserves it. Subscribe to my channel if you like what you saw and you haven't already. And I'll see you guys all next time for The Flash, or rather Arrow, and then maybe a Daredevil review sometime. I finished all of it, it's just that I'm working on like animation and transitions and all this good stuff. Anyway, you know, click here for the last videos. They've probably been up for a while. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow for Arrow. So until then, bye.